For staying with us. Counting is currently underway for 3 Lok Sabha seats and 29 assembly seats in the bipole elections. So far, the BJP is leading in 9 constituencies, while the Congress is coming in second with the lead in 2 constituencies. The TMC is leading in all 4 seats in West Bengal with a lead of more than 1,24,000 votes in Gosaba and about over 1 lakh votes in Dinhata. Now, the BJP is maintaining a steady lead in Karnataka's Sindagi, while the Congress has a small lead in Karnataka's Hangal. The elections were spread across 13 states and the Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Remember, this is an initial test for parties ahead of the 2022 state assembly elections and then the 2024 general elections. My colleagues joining us from different parts of the country. Deepa joining us from Bengaluru. Swastika is also joining us. Shogato joining us from Kolkata. We also have reporters joining us from Patna and other areas as well. But first, let me go across to Deepa first. Deepa, what's happening currently? Where do the leads currently stand?
Well, Hankal and Sindhi, the 2 constituencies that are seeing by-elections, and it's the first by-election we are seeing after Basavaraj Bommai took over at the helm of the state's affairs. Obviously, he was hoping that this by-election will ensure, his reputation, his image would be managed well at not just here but at the central level as well. But there seems to be quite a bit of embarrassment in his own home district, Haveri. In Hankal constituency, the BJP is actually trailing by about nearly 10,000 votes now. About 12 rounds of counting are over. So it is on a sticky wicket right now, though about another 9 rounds of vote counting are yet to happen. In Sindagi, they have performed pretty well. They've got a lead of over, 25,000 votes. So that's something that BJP is likely to, hit the home run on. But in Hankal, which is the CM home district, it is also the constituency from where his wife. This is bound to be a source of embarrassment for Basavaraj Bommai personally, because it's not just the fact that he comes from here. It's also that he campaigned aggressively for almost 8 days in Hankal. He was almost camping there, holding meetings, public rallies, addressing public meetings, holding meetings with community leaders per se. But what seems to have gone against the BJP here is undoubtedly the caste factor, because it has a significant minority population, also OBC and SC population, and they seem to have consolidated against the BJP to some extent.
Okay, Deepa, I'll request you to stay on with us. I want to go across to Shogato also. Shogato, what's happening as far as Bengal is concerned after Bhabanipur? If these bipoles go the TMC way, then this will in fact set the tone, the tenor as far as the national ambition for 2024 is concerned.
Well, most certainly so, and it now seems pretty obvious that the Trinamool Congress will score a 4 out of 4 in the Bengal Assembly bipoles, with the leads, almost unassailable in seats like Goshaba and Dinhata. In Goshaba, the lead is now over 1,33,000 votes. The final round of counting is currently underway. In Dinhata, 3 rounds of counting, 3 or 4 rounds of counting currently remain. The lead for the Trinamool Congress is over 1,24,000 votes. In Khordha, the lead for the Trinamool Congress, Shogundev Chattopadhyay, the Trinamool Congress leader who vacated his seat, left his seat for Mamata Banerjee in Bhabanipur, is currently leading with over 33,000 votes. And in Shantipur, the lead for the Trinamool Congress is almost 20,000 at this point in time. So obviously, these are very, very comprehensive leads as far as the party is concerned. And you are absolutely right that this will be a big boost for the Trinamool Congress workers at the ground level, the leaders, and of course the top brass of the Trinamool Congress, which is obviously aspiring to set its political foothold in areas outside of West Bengal, especially in states like Goa and Tripura, where elections would be held in 2022 and in 2023 respectively. Just to give you some numbers as to how Trinamool Congress's position currently stand in the Bengal Assembly, you remember that Trinamool Congress won 213 seats in the out of the 294 in the state elections that was held in April, May last year, and rather April, May this year, and after that, come to the straight arithmetic of 3 seats won in September this year. The Bhawanipur seat, Mamata Banerjee won by a record margin, and then 2 seats in Murshidabad, Shamsherganj and Jangipur. Those 3 seats, and add another 4 of these by-polls, so 7 seats. So the tally automatically goes up from 230 to 220 out of the 294 seats. And then add another of those, defecting leaders, the MLAs who have now come back into Trinamool Congress from the BJP and other parties, and the tally goes up even higher. So obviously in the Bengal Assembly, it's Trinamool Congress's domination all the way at this point in time. And as you rightly pointed out, this is a great moral booster for that party. As far as the BJP is concerned, it has to introspect, because you see, of these 4 seats that the polls are happening, 2 seats were won by the BJP in the state elections, namely in Dinhata and in Shantipur Nadia. Dinhata, the margin was very slender, 57 seats. Now that margin has gone over to close to 1,40,000 in favor of the BJP, rather in favor of the Trinamool Congress. And in Shantipur, where the BJP's Jagannath Sarkar, another of those MPs who vacated his seat, won by a margin close to 16,000 votes. The
so
tally
as
has
of
turned
now,
in
it
Trinamool's
looks
favor,
like it's going to be
20
TMC all the way. Shaukato, I'll request you to stay on with us. Let's take in a word from Swastika also, who's been patiently waiting. Swastika, what's the word coming in? The last time we spoke, it looked like the TRS had a bit of an edge, but has that changed now?
Well, TRS is trailing after 4 rounds. It's the BJP which has taken a narrow lead over the party in Huzurabad municipality. And an interesting observation here is that the village where the Dalita Bandhu scheme was launched, in which the TRS government had promised to transfer 10 lakh rupees into the bank accounts of Dalit families in a bid to empower them. Shalapalli village was where this scheme was launched in Huzurabad municipality. The TRS surprisingly is trailing there. So whether Dalita Bandhu has really worked for the TRS or not at this point in time, if you go by the numbers, certainly not. While for the BJP, they have been performing pretty well, because Itala Rajender is a very strong candidate for the party, and he has been leading from the word go. It was in postal ballots that the TRS party was leading, but from EVM counting is concerned, it's the BJP which is leading at this point in time. And for BJP, taking a lead in Huzurabad is pretty important, because not only is it going to set the tone for the assembly elections in 2023, it is also consolidating its position as the main challenger, dislodging the Congress completely and establishing itself as the only party which can take on the TRS in the assembly elections. TRS is the ruling party in the state and still has strongholds, and BJP, by making inroads into the rural areas, whether it is through padayatras or door-to-door campaigning, BJP has been doing it all to ensure that it takes on the TRS head-on. And that is exactly why, after Dubaka and a redoubting performance in the GHMC election, the BJP's win in Huzurabad, if at all it goes on to win, will be politically significant, Ridhima.
Okay, Swastika, thanks for getting us all those details. I'd like to thank my other colleagues as well. We'll continue to come back to you and track all those developments.